You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I am your host, and today's episode will be brought to you after this question from our characters.
So, Doc, you got a lot of wives, right?
Got a lot of... Sorry, say again?
Wives.
Yes, got a lot of wives. 4.
Yeah. I mean, you see, I've seen Mom Bar and Papa Bar, and they have these fantastic moments when they completely understand each other, and they know when they're in the right, and they know when they're in the wrong, but nobody can say anything about it, and there's kind of this tension in the air, but there's also a lot of affection and care and romance. But one nurse is like when you got 4, and how do you deal with it when they're so far away? And how do you remember all of their birthdays? And what about their anniversaries? And what if one of them's upset? And how does it work?
There's a lot of communication, which, I mean, granted, I'm not there at the moment, but otherwise, there's a lot of communication. Everyone has their own jobs and responsibilities within the thing that helps us, compartmentalize things. And one of them actually just looks after the household. It's really helpful.
So it kind of looks like they don't actually need you there to be able to do everything. So how come you're a part of it?
So, I mean, look, they trust me to be out here, and they've got their own lives. I mean, one of them's a dancer out on the rim, so we don't all have to be in one space. I mean, it's been a little while since all 5 of us were in the one space together.
Roy just reaches out and pats you kind of condescendingly and just goes,
Love is a complicated thing, isn't it?
and then walks off.
It works for me.
So yeah, you very much get the impression that Roy asked you a serious question, and with the way he's responded with your response, it's like, I accept that you don't know, but it's okay with that. But the way he pats you and is like, yeah, that's tricky. He's like, you don't know either, but it's okay.
Hi, my name is Ed Fortune, and welcome to Shadows of the Jedi. This is session 2, season 3. Just for those of you who are counting on your fingers, I suppose. I couldn't run this fantastic Star Wars adventure game without some friends, so let's get our lovely friends to introduce themselves. And let's start with Ross.
Hi, I'm Ross. I play Dr. Smex Karamdanawa, a Saurian consular healer whose emotional strength is his compassion, but his weakness is his obstinacy.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I play Kay. He's a human starfighter ace Atiro striker. His emotional strength is also his compassion, and his emotional weakness is his hatred, which may play into it now, because mostly what he hates is the Empire.
Hi, I'm Mim. I play Roy. Roy is a modified B1 battle droid with specializations in bodyguard and heavy. I also have a career as a hired gun, and I have no emotional strengths or weaknesses because I'm a droid, not a soggy meat bag.
You have problems with morality.
I do have problems with morality and personal space.
As per the t-shirts, available from our Redbubble store and our Teespring.
Yar! Buy my stuff!
Buy our stuff!
No, I kid you not. I have one of those t-shirts because it's wonderful.
As do I. As do my parents, which is less comfortable, but there we go.
I'm Chad Pendragon, and I endorse this product.
As we head into Spaceballs, Force and Destiny, the shilling section.
The search for harmony.
Oh.
Adam, would you like to introduce yourself?
The shilling of the Jedi. Hello, I'm Adam. I'm playing Tychus Bar, a Bestless Guardian Armourer. My emotional strength is my bravery, and my emotional weakness is my recklessness.
A great deal of galactic scholarship has been spent on exactly why Kinabal is the way it is. Professor Iverian Toy put it best in their monograph, Musings on the New Order. If Kinabal can teach us anything, it is that nothing lasts forever. Everything dies, even stars. Melodramatic, even for Toy, but they do have a point. Where we left off last session, the party have popped into actual space, having spent a lot of time on Kinabal in their brand new shiny ship, which they can use in atmosphere, but haven't used yet in space. And just as they scramble to get things working and everything running, they realise they're in the middle of a space war. A war in the stars, almost. And where we left off, there was 2 advanced TIE fighters of a type that K is uniquely positioned to recognise, and enough, shall we say, TIE fighters on your tail. And on this, we're going to go into traditional initiatives. I would argue that this is all cool because, like, obviously, you're not going to be surprised by this.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You washed on an initiative. Of course you washed an initiative roll.
I get 2 successes and 1 advantage.
I got 5 successes and 1 advantage.
5 successes.
Yeah, I'm worried I've used this on the wrong dice roll. I mean, I'm not really, because I think we need to go, do something alert, but I'm happy for other people to be first place in the sequence.
That's good. That is good.
I got 2 successes and 2 advantage.
So for Imperial Group 1, we have 3 successes. For Imperial Group 2, we have 7 successes and 2 advantage.
My God. We're dead.
Special sound deflector shields are all at the front instead
Yeah,
of the back.
because I thought we were aiming at them. I thought things were in front of us and we were going through them. Damn it.
Crazy Ivan it.
Yeah. Well, I can't. They're going first.
Oh, that'll floor it, yeah.
Yeah.
And for the Scum faction, which is only getting 1 slot because it's a smaller faction, it's got a triumph, a success, and 2 advantage. So what's the order of the slots?
It is 2 NPCs, a PC, an NPC, then the rest of the PCs.
Okay, so you're being chased by TIE fighters.
Yes.
However, can I have warfare rolls from all of you, please, for you to notice what has just happened in the rest of the theatre?
What difficulty?
2 purple.
I'm going to argue, Ed, that Tychus can't roll because he's in the engineering bay. He's got no visuals on outside what's going on. We've established that in previous episodes. So he has no way of knowing what's going on apart from it's a bad time because I couldn't react to what I'm seeing or anything.
That's fine. That's fair.
2 failure.
0 success, which is a failure, and 4 advantage.
1 success, 1 threat.
Right, and you can tell everyone else what happens, but you see this there's a Vigo. So a Vigo fighter is a Vigo cruiser is like a Black Sun kind of their equivalent of a Star Destroyer sort of thing. It's a heavy cruiser full of ships. There's just one of them, and you see another one in hyperspace. So like a backup is arriving, and as it does so, you notice there's a weird shaped Star Destroyer. So it's like a normal kind of like wedge shaped Star Destroyer. Rather than having cannons on it, it's got these massive domes, and there's like a ripple of energy across the domes. And as this Vigo class like comes into near space, it breaks in 2.
Uh-oh.
The ship.
Yeah,
In a damaged way, or in a
damaged way. So
Right.
whatever the interdictor, whatever this weird Star Destroyer did, it hits a brick wall and damages it. And you know that happens when there's a hyperspace malfunction.
So this ship is creating an area of effect that when other ships butt up against it, because it's a hyperspace era, it just broke it in half.
Yeah,
So this is an invisible insta-death for your ship.
yeah. They've taken out a capital ship with whatever effect they have.
Okay, I think we need to avoid that. There's a lot of danger perception going on for Roy. He's analysing a lot of different situations at the moment to work out what the best thing is. But this has brought up a unusual and non-specific area of danger that is... don't really know what this is, but it's important. So there's almost a monotonal approach to the way he starts to relay this information, because it's too big. This is one of those things where someone else has to make a decision. But he explains quite calmly.
Got a situation ahead where it looks like there is a invisible, possibly not seeable on scanners, effect around the ship, which looks like it has a high damage level. Recommend we stay seriously far away from this. I would suggest turning and going the opposite way, getting around it. We need to remove ourselves from the situation right away. That is my conclusion.
And it's weirdly flat for him.
Mm-hmm.
So is it flat because Roy's like part of the ship, or at this point, or
He is in massive assessment mode at the moment.
right? Okay.
There's too much for him to be able to make an informed opinion about what the right answer is. Because there's like 4 different situations going on. There's Bar is in danger, we should go home. Bar's parents are in danger, home is not safe. We're running away from the police. They're running away from an Imperial force. There's an active war zone here. There's a firefight initiating. the ship's damaged and we're not really sure where we should be going. There's so many different situations going on that all he can do is grab information and compile it. There's no personality here. This is working on basic programming. I don't have the computational space personality while I'm dealing with a problem this big right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is just presented to you in as much as he can. This area, serious danger. I need a response.
Could I spend some of my advantages because Roy is actually interfacing with the ship at the minute, for sort of helpful visualizations to appear on screen to accompany that voice?
Yeah, you can spend an advantage on that. You've still got another 3 advantage left, haven't you?
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
So, you sent a message out last session.
Yeah.
If you want to receive a reply, you can spend 3 of your advantage on that.
I would like to receive a reply.
The reply is a coded message.
Mm-hmm.
It is coded for an ISB agent. It is an ISB priority code.
Right, okay.
To transmit to prevent interdiction on your ship. So when you want to go hyperspace, punch this code in and we will not interrupt, is essentially what it says. It's written in a very kind of coded and long way around, but this is your passport.
Okay, great.
Obviously this is contraband.
Yeah.
Quite clearly.
I think we're going to spend it before we have to worry about it.
Okay, and it's a PC action.
Some of that piloting stuff?
Well, I think maybe you should go next and move the deflector field back to the back.
I should, okay.
There's going to be another go.
Yeah, I'm going to be coordinating with Tychus as much as I can because I'm heavily on comms at the moment because I'm sat in a co-pilot seat and trying to be helpful. But yes, I can shout and redirect energy if that's what's on my display. Can I do a rearrange the reflectors?
That's a manoeuvre. You've still got an action.
I'm not sure what else at this point.
I have a suggestion.
Go for it.
If you've got a reasonable astrogation, is plot course, because there's so much chaos ahead of us. Being able to get a bit of a map through that to help Kay.
I can give it a go. I mean, I don't have ranks in it, so
You do have very high intelligence.
yes, that's the goal.
It's a 2 difficulty astrogation or a 3 difficulty perception.
Okay, I've got 3 success and 1 threat.
Awesome. So, for every success, it looks like it removes setback die from Kay's piloting rolls
Okay.
that are imposed due to difficult terrain, plus whatever useful stuff Ed wants to give.
Yeah, and the threat I'm sure will come up with something. Or it'll get added to a clock, one of those.
Oh no, the threat's about to go on advantage to the ships behind it.
Shoot us
Yeah, to shoot.
furiously.
About to get hit with a furious hail of bullets. If that's your action, is there anything I should be aware of when trying to shoot your ship down? Okay.
Yeah, so we've got 2 defense at the back now. Is that right?
He could only move 1 for 1,
All right. So it's 1 back to the back.
so it's 1 back to back. Yeah.
There is a barrage of fire to your rear. There's a shot across the bows. There's a shot just above you as well. And this is classic Imperial herding tactics. They're basically trying to create a cone of damage, cone of danger.
Okay.
They're creating a kill box in space for us. Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to chase you, and it's not the little ties that worry you, because like that's winnowing fire. That's not that much of an issue. The issue is the tie advance that pops directly behind you. So it does a total of 7 damage.
Okay.
It's a solid hit on the back.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. But it's more the rest of the bolts that are like keeping you corralled. And now the position that you're in is, in addition to there being like the tie advance at the back of you, there's 2 ties on either side of you that are trying to control your maneuverability and control your space. And the other tie, because there were 2 tie advance, the other one is broken off and you can't see it.
Okay.
And it's back to PC actions.
I can go after quite happily. So if Mim wants to shoot or you want to repair.
I mean, the fact that something has now popped its head up above the parapet as an immediate threat does seem like something... I mean, my action is very simple. I'd like a quick assessment of the situation as to whether it is better to respond to the threat with violence or better to look for using violence to make a quicker path out. That's my assessment. Is this thing that has attacked us something we need to deal with to get past, or is it something where I can not shoot at that, blow a hole somewhere else and get through there instead?
It's a fancy-looking TIE fighter. From where you're sitting, the one that's behind you, with its fancy-looking gun, is fancy.
It's probably worth mentioning, Mim, that we were going full speed, and it's caught up with us very quickly.
Yeah, so I could be surprised by that. Because out of character, I know TIE fighters are speedy little things, but in character,
Gee, that's fast.
So we may have to blow it out of the sky to actually get away from it.
it's a short range ship. Surely, if we make them jump to hyperspace, it won't be able to follow. Sorry.
Certainly won't be able to follow us if it's in little bits.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, I'll take a maneuver to aim. Does that give me a boost?
It does.
Yep, there we go. And I will try and blow this immediate threat out the sky.
And it all goes off the silhouette difference. I assume it's the same silhouette as us, Ed, or within one.
It's within one, yeah.
So it's 2 purple.
2 purple. Okay. So it's 1 success.
So that's 7 damage minus its armour.
Right, so the shot goes straight across the so you know where the ball is, where it connects to the wings?
Yeah.
The cab?
Yep.
You hit the connecting point, and you can see that the kind of the wing, there's like a massive wing failure, and there's flames in space coming off the side, and there's like severe maneuverability as it kind of flips over onto its flat side, and is still firing away. It's wildly missing, so almost dead. And I believe it's PC action still.
This turn, I'm going to be boosting the rear shields again, because Tiger doesn't know what hit us, he only knows that we've been hit. And while he's frantically boosting the shields at the back, he's going to go, "What is going on out there? Did we take a hit?"
I'll reply on my go.
Yeah. That's 3 yellow against 3 purple. And a boost for 455. Huh. Failure, advantage, triumph. So I don't boost the shields, that just doesn't work. The advantage I'm going to give as a boost to K, because clearly, there is a power surge that Tychus has put into the system, but that power surge has not made it through to the shields. Maybe there's been some circuitry that's misaligned. I mean, Tychus is a weapons builder, not a shipwright, so it instead routes some of that to the engines. And I think for the triumph, can it give us a boost of speed enough that we pull away from the tie a little bit and into a different zone, or gets us further out of the main melee, gives us a bit more maneuverability, a bit more breathing space?
Yes, so you're looking at the dials, and you notice that there's a sudden increase in power. And the reason it's both failure and the triumph is you realise that wherever you are, there's too much power in this area, and you shut it down and divert it into the engines before it goes off. It has to go somewhere. So it's like you divert the surge to have a sudden jump, if you see what I mean. And I'm going to add to that triumph by saying that also what happens is you jink, the entire ship jinks with the force of the energy, which causes one of the other ties to maneuver out the way into its mate. So of the 2 assisting ties, as you jink away, it has to steer. I'm going to roll for the poor pilot.
Our wake suddenly kicks out a wash of energy that backflashes or something like that. Yeah.
Well, it's also because you've moved weirdly, and it's not expecting that, because they're expecting you to not ram them. It's reasonable to expect you to not ram them, and because you've suddenly gone whoosh, he's gone, yeah!
And they've got to move around some Kinevale debris.
And he's got to move around the debris, and oh, that is beautiful. So one of them gets out of the way, no problem, and the other one just completely loses it. Doesn't hit his mate, but does, because he's not paying attention, smashes into a piece of debris and just goes spinning across into the atmosphere. So by moving, you've taken the ship out, but that's mostly because he completely failed his drive roll, if you see what I mean. So your one of your flanks is more clear than it was. Though that said, the one that's still on your flank, your left flank, is highly motivated to keep you now because you've just murdered his mate. So,
Okay,
so as a manoeuvre, I would like to do evasive manoeuvres, which upgrades purple to red on all attacks made against us, but it also makes attacks that we make purple to red. So it makes it more difficult for us to shoot them, but more difficult for them to shoot us. And then for my action, I'm going to go gain the advantage on the TIE advance behind us which, if I get any successes, nullifies that negative effect. So I make it more difficult for him to shoot me, but I get put us into a position where we can shoot them back.
So you're loop-de-looping?
I think spinning, that's a neat trick.
Okay.
I especially like we've just moved the deflectors from the front to the back just before.
Yeah, I'm not loop-to-looping. I'm just going to spin a bit, keep the deflectors in, and kind of...
Corkscrew.
Yeah, exactly.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah,
You're doing a barrel roll.
I do a barrel roll. What speed are they going at?
They're also going at 4.
Cool. So it is just one purple then, because it's the difference between the speeds, and obviously I need
2.
Is it 2?
Yeah, for the same speed.
Oh, is it? Sorry. Yep, you're all right. Anything else you want adding to that?
Boost from me.
You have 2 setback because you're being escorted.
I have 1 setback because I'm an amazing pilot.
Fantastic.
So that's 5 successes, 2 advantage, and a dark side point, which I'm not going to spend. So, obviously the successes mean that the guy behind us finds it difficult to shoot us, but we don't find it difficult to shoot him. If you don't mind, with the advantage, and I think there's a suggestion of how it works as well on here. If I can spend 2 of those successes, which is the advantages, sorry, on making it so the TIE fighter next to us also doesn't have an easy chance of hitting us.
Okay.
So we're just difficult to hit, but we can hit them fine.
Do you have any advantage left?
No.
Okay. So can I say it's not the TIE next to you?
Yeah.
But by making that maneuver, you see where the other TIE advanced is, and that now has difficulty hitting you.
Cool.
So the 2
happy
big
with
guns can't see you. Because of your maneuver, it's been hiding in the debris, and it's been going faster than just a little bit faster than everyone else. Almost like you can see what's going ahead of him, and you see him.
I am very happy with it.
And you get that moment. We get a camera-in-camera moment where you don't see each other, but from the viewer's point of view, you do see each other. If you see what I mean, that kind of dogfighting pilot moment where you're like, so Baron sort of moment.
Yeah.
Is there anybody left?
Nope, back to the top.
That's the top. You'll be unsurprised to learn that I'm going to be spending these on TIE fighter maneuvers. Right, so I'm at a difficulty to hit you.
Yeah, you just upgrade.
So it's 1 red, 1 purple, 1 setback.
So the one that you've damaged fails to hit you. The guns go off at high speed. However, what it also does is, because of the angle that he's at, to avoid being hit by his barrage of attacks, you have to kind of smooth past. And as you see this wave of debris, and it's like this kind of weird glowing, kind of almost like rainbow-like rocks and energy of what you suddenly realise was probably once a space station as you go through. And he's completely unable to hit you, but he is kind of able to again, box you in.
Gotcha.
But completely misses. The other TIE advance, who's at the same set of disadvantages, has you bang to right, and it whiffs completely. It goes straight past, straight through. He is on target. And then one of the other TIEs goes who's also trying to avoid the atmosphere, just smacks into the side of him. And there's like a kind of like a whiffing, as it seems to be like sheer luck as he just completely, it's really, you can see the bolt as it goes, like Roy, you see this bolt go straight, you can wave at it as it goes past you. And there's like a ripple of that electrical energy across the shields, but it doesn't actually do any harm to the ship, as he rolls a staggering amount of failure and threat. And because of your maneuver, they've completely had to try and improvise and failed, causing the whole thing to kind of corkscrew into a spiral of maneuverable disasters.
Shoot him back, shoot him back, shoot him back.
Have they sort of whiffled and they've ended up in front of us as well now then? If you said
Yes,
they've gone by, yeah.
They're in front of you because what's happened is because of Kay's hotshot flying,
Yeah.
they've improvised an attack, but completely, like, one of them is trying to help the other one, but the other one's misunderstood what he's doing, and they've both basically smacked into one of their allies, so they're not getting any advantage out of, they're trying to claw back the maneuverability problem, but you're now in essentially a kind of, it's a cockpit fight. It's so kind of close quarters at this point when it comes to speed, whilst you're going at phenomenal speeds. Roy, Oh, next party action.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm gonna shoot him.
I want to shoot them, but I'm happy to wait if need be.
Shoot him.
Shoot him.
Bang, bang, bang.
I'll take an aim, which gives me a blue dice.
Yes.
And just to be clear what my gunnery is, I've got 1 yellow and 2 green. Do I still have a setback dice?
Yeah, for their defence,
For their
and
defence.
it's 2 purple is difficulty.
Yep. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Are you aiming for the wounded one or for the non-wounded one? Or one of the minions?
Go for the wounded one and take it out.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. And they're in quite close quarters, so they roll really well. The explosion of one is going to affect the other anyway. And luckily, I rolled really well. Congratulations to me, sitting here smugly going, yeah. So that is 3 successes and 2 advantage.
The advantage isn't enough to crit, but that's just 9 damage.
And what does that look like as you blow off its wing?
Having seen it zoom straight by, for a droid, he's become sort of a bit of a robot, and you could see just manoeuvring at the gun and going,
Target identified. Target neutralized.
just boom, 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 boom. Very much, you can tell that there is a calculated, risk identified, risk dealt with, next analysis of the situation going by now.
That's great, kid. Maybe get a bit cocky.
Hey, give it to Roy. How often is Roy efficient?
Yeah, it's freaking me out.
In fairness, when it comes to killing people, always.
Yeah, the wing comes off and there is a fantastic whir of something as it goes through, and then that extra damage just goes poof.
You can turn those advantages into maneuverability problems for the other advance.
Yeah, that would be good. I'd very much like it if the explosion and resulting debris has limited their maneuverability a little bit.
It drops back, essentially. It's having to swerve and effectively leaves the engagement. Its choices are stay in your tail and die by smashing into its friend, or get out of the way. So it gets out of the way, and you can see it does that Darth Vader at the end of Star Wars thing where it spins uncontrollably.
Yeah.
So, Ed, I think it's your go.
So the other ships, the other TIEs, hit you with fire and do a grand total of 6 damage to the ship as they just keep shooting, trying to whittle you down, doing that same. It's the same tactic. It's the one that was drilled into you time and time again, of keep it into the kill box whilst one of you takes out the engines and takes out the deflectors. So it's exactly the same tactic as they're just trying to scratch away at you. The one that's doing the actual killing, however, is the one that you almost smashed into the side of. It's jockeying and jinking for position as well. It wants to be the one that gets you. It has a grudge. And it's back to PC action.
Just so I'm understanding the transmission I was sent a little while ago, is that something which, a passport I can use basically as soon as we hit hyperspace so that we look authorised to leave the area?
So the dock is highly intelligent. Quite clearly what this is a communication from your contact, allowing you to get past any hyperspace injunction. You can leave the theatre.
Right, because in a sense I'm wondering, is this something I want to transmit to the TIE fighters who are trying to shoot at us? Is this something I want to transmit to anybody else?
This is a thing that you transmit before you hit hyperspace, so your hyperspace works. Otherwise, the ship that you've just talked to will stop you from moving into hyperspace, because that's its trick.
Right, okay. I want to convey that I have a trick for getting into hyperspace to Kay, but I wanted to understand how it was going to work in combat. Can I simply help us by plotting a hyperspace path at this point, because we want an escape route?
Do you want to plot an astrogation route, or do you want to plot...
I think the ship was taking about half the amount of damage it can take, and we want to get out of here. But I am communicating this with Kay. I want this to be a conversation.
So you need to find a position within Keenabel space that you can then leave in hyperspace. The process, as far as you can tell, is you need to find a place to start your hyperspace,
right?
Which is not everywhere, which is normally just outside the planet. But this is Keenabel. You need to find a spot.
Yeah.
Once you found your spot, you need to use your contraband to make sure that you're not stopped from leaving, and then you want to leave. Where are you intending to head to?
We have reason to go to Spectre Saria. I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you using the coordinates that were given to you by the cube, or are you using the coordinates that have been given to you many times by your family?
Let's not give the cube too much credit at this point. Let's start with, let's get out of Dodge to somewhere I know is safe, and we can rearrange to where the cube is going shortly after that. So I'm going to stick with stuff I know at the minute, and we'll go from there. But obviously I'm not an astrogator, so this is entirely me working off the seat of my pants and whatever the console is telling me.
Right, okay.
And in combination with my pilot, because I'm not just, who's not saying anything.
Sorry, you were speaking in the third person, so I wasn't sure if you were.
Oh, okay. No, okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay, I'm going to plot us across the hyperspace, because it sounds like we want to get out of here without taking more damage.
Yeah, we need to get out of here.
Okay.
There are hyperspace rifts around here. I'm trying to avoid them, but they're everywhere. If you can find us somewhere safe to launch from, I'll head towards it. Just put it up on the nav computer.
Okay. I'm assuming that's a straight astrogation roll with a difficulty 2, but...
Difficulty 2 and 2 setback as well.
We have got light side points if you want to flip.
Yes, let's flip a light side point, please. 2 success, 1 threat.
Okay, so you pull up on the screen. Key can see this as well. Anyone with access to a console can see this. So both Tychus and Roy can see this as well. The point that you need to leave, you've plotted a course to. On the other success, you're able to also show up the astronavigation hazards.
Okay.
There are loads of them near where you are, and there is a massive warning. It's like it's just a triangle with a exclamation point and a big red circle where that Star Destroyer is. And there's just a warning of hyperspace hazard, and then there's lots of little hyperspace hazards. The threat is that from where you are, there's no easy way to get to this without... It's going to require some hotshot flying just to get into position because of the big thing, or the other little hyperspace hazards are moving.
Okay. I mean, fortunately, we have a hotshot pilot. So, trust me on the hyperspace passport, but can you get us out of this, please?
Key,
Yeah.
you recognise what the big red thing is. Like,
Okay.
you've seen this before from the ISB. It was experimental when you were in the ISB.
Yeah.
But this is a device to prevent criminals from hyperspacing out.
Yeah. It's a
Interdictor.
yeah, exactly. It's fine. Apparently, we've got a way out, so we'll figure it out from there. I'll go again. Shall I get us to the correct position then? Shall I do the aforementioned hotshot flying?
Please.
Go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, it's all going to fail now. So that's 3 yellow, 1 green, a boost because of their handling. Are we still on 2 setback?
Yes.
So 1 setback. Difficulty?
2 plus a setback.
So 3 setback in total then.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 successes, 1 advantage.
Okay.
Hotshot piloting.
Where all my points go.
What does that look like?
You know, in space, there's especially in films, there's a tendency to have like a level plane of where the ships go. So you're always, if you're in the Enterprise, you always come against the Klingons, and they're always just in front of you. They're never to the side or anything like that. Suddenly, there's a click, and Kay's like, "Wait a minute, we can go in any direction we fancy," and we do with some form of vigor and some form of push, where we spin the ship, and then it flips to the side, and then takes a hard bank as it leaps out from away from the TIE fighters, almost cheering. And if it wasn't any other pilot, it would probably pull something off the ship, but just pushing it to the limits of what I know the ship can do, and then diving down towards this area. And he just goes, "Doc, we're going to be there in 3 seconds. 2, 1.
I'm transmitting whatever it is I'm transmitting.
Are you hitting the hyperspace button?
In sync with K, yeah. If K, I'm hoping, whether it's spending his advantage to do that, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I think we could probably spend the advantage to sync up. That might be quite a nice thing.
I love going into hyperspace with no prior warning. Whoa!
What does that look like? Are you being an oiled machine, or are you screaming at each other as you're trying to get into the right position?
I don't think we're screaming at each other. I think we're talking quite nicely.
As the two people doing this, we're kind of calm people. It's kind of like all of this. Everything's going all over the place. The ship is screaming at us because we're making it do things it shouldn't be doing. Lights start flashing on, and then a siren starts going because you really shouldn't be pulling the ship around like this. But in the pilot seats, we're kind of 3, 2, 1. Mark. And we're just so very calm at what we do because,
These are two people who've gotten drunk together on many occasions and know how to walk in a straight line, and who are coordinating by very simple, very easy requirements, and who are just going easy going with it.
Kay used to be a TIE fighter pilot. This isn't not a fast ship compared to what he does. He's just pushing it to its limit, and he's being calm about it. And obviously the Doc's not a astrogation person, so he's not seeing the full the danger that we're having because he's not done this before. So we're both kind of calm.
But there's a calm, surgical precision of just keep your hands steady and go with it.
The confidence of somebody who is really good at something and somebody who's really terrible at something is usually quite high, and it's only the people in the middle of the skill range who get stressed. We both come together. The Doc doesn't know what he's doing. Kay really knows what he's doing. We're both very calm.
As you kind of coordinatedly punch it, several things happen at once. Firstly, the TIE Advanced and the TIE Fighters go all in for a barrage against you as they kind of patter off your rapidly accelerating hull on deflectors, which means because the ship has not hit hyperspace before, but it does a full rainbow of different electrical colours. So it's that electrical patina that you've got. It does the full thing, but it's different hues of colours as it hyperspaces up. Also, you slide into hyperspace in the clumsiest way possible because the hyperspace engine screams, partially because the interdiction hasn't been turned off just in time. So just as you send it off, someone somewhere presses the button to let you through, and there's a kind of almost like a pop, and it screams as you hit into hyperspace.
I kind of like the idea that whereas most people, when we hit hyperspace, it's a directly forward thing, we've hit hyperspace whilst doing a Tokyo drift.
Yep. Yes.
So we're kind of going sideways through hyperspace.
And then eventually backwards.
That sounds like us. That definitely sounds like us.
I will completely and utterly pretend I did that on purpose when we talk about it.
And as the fire opal stylishly slides into hyperspace, we will leave it there. It's a delight as always, and speak to you soon. You all take care. And again, thank you very much to my amazing players.
And before we leave you, today's patron is Charlie. Charlie had tried in vain to resist the siren call of our tender voices and our unconstrained whimsy, but fell and is now one of us. One of us. One of us. Welcome aboard, Charlie. It is an absolute delight to have you here with us. We are glad you're enjoying the show, and we hope we continue to bring a smile to your face going forward. Thank you very much. And indeed, thank you everybody for listening as we have returned to Shadows of the Jedi and we get back into our groove. We hope you're having as much fun as we are, if not even more. Look after yourselves, my loves, and we will see you next time. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Edge Studios. Our intro music is by the amazing Sly Fox Audio. Check out more of her work at soundcloud.com/SlyFoxAudio. Our outro music is Suburban Outlaw instrumental version by Forget the Whale, used with gratitude under a Creative Commons license. Many of the sound effects and soundscapes are created using Sirenscape because epic games need epic sounds. If you're enjoying the show and want to support us, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/ForceMajeurePod, where for as little as $1 a month you get access to outtakes, adverts, various other stuff, and my fortnightly ramblings. You can drop us a coffee at ko-fi.com/ForceMajeurePod, or you can leave us a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to interact with us, there's a few ways you can do that. We are on the social medias, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter as @ForceMajeurePod, and we're over on Mastodon as @ForceMajeurePod at dice.camp. You can also join our Discord, link in the show notes. Thank you very much for listening and being with us as we tell these stories. We hope you are having fun, and we will see you next time.